What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Sound Money Podcast live here on YouTube. And I wanted to quickly touch base on what's currently going on. So a lot of you guys have reached out to me asking questions about the downturn that's happening in the stock markets. And one thing that I always try to reiterate is that the stock markets are not the economy as a whole. They are one component, of course, but the economy is comprised of a lot of different pieces here. So, unemployment being a big one. You have a lot of aspects of business that are very important to the economy. And I think one of the more important parts that people aren't talking about is debt, and business debt specifically. So we have hit historic highs of business debt over the past 10 years. And what happens in debt in business when you are taking out a business loan, let's say you have inventory or you have orders and you need inventory to fulfill those orders, what will happen is you need to take out a quick line of credit to fulfill those orders and continue running your business as you see fit. And it's great for business, if you have the cash flow to support that debt. Now, when you have debt on top of cash flow, it's usually calculated by a percentage of that cash flow. And one of the companies that's been pioneering this space to quickly unlock capital for businesses has been Square, because they control the point of sale all the way through now to loans. So they track exactly what's going on a day-to-day basis for your small business. And then you literally can apply for a loan and get it entered right into your bank account because they're already synced to your bank account. They can track cash flow directly because they're the ones taking the payment. And it's a brilliant model. And for example, if I'm making $1,000 a day, let's say at my coffee shop in Manhattan or something like that, and I need to expand. My business is doing really well. I need to expand, double my tables, double my capacity for customers to come in, hire some additional help to help support the volume that I'm seeing because my product's so amazing. And what I would need to do is, let's say this example with Square, I'm taking payments through Square. I apply through Square Capital, get some money into the company, and let's say I take on $100,000 that I'll pay off over, let's say, 2 years, something like that, or I could extend it out to 10 years, something like that. The important part to remember here is that Square is going to calculate based off of your cash flow what you can take out. So, they will determine entirely what you can get. And for example, with HELOCs on your home, you're borrowing against the equity of your home. And many lenders will do 85% of the value of your home is what they allow you to pull out against. So if your house is worth $500,000, you can take out up to 85% of what you do not owe on that mortgage. So you subtract what you actually own in equity after you've gone to the 85%, and that will give you a number of that you can get in credit. So something similar with business a little bit, except it's just around cash flow. So what happens now, you have this global level of debt in businesses in Italy, in businesses in Australia, in the UK, all over Europe, in the United States. You have businesses everywhere that have taken on debt to expand. It's a frothy economy. A lot of people want to build up. They really want to make sure that they are, they have a war chest ready to basically just double down, essentially, whatever's working in the simplest way. I'm trying to simplify this down the best I can just to describe what's going on and what's going to happen. So what we're seeing is often other companies and other countries will service other businesses' debt in different places to fulfill orders. For example, if I have my coffee shop in Manhattan and my coffee's coming from South America or Italy or somewhere around the world, I could take out lines of credit with my fulfillment partners. They could, service that debt, and I could slowly pay them back over time because my cash flow is strong. Now, when a pandemic happens, like coronavirus that everybody has been seeing all over the news, it's extremely saturated on the media right now. It's everywhere. Everyone is talking about it. It's panic. Stock market is correcting because of it. And the big pullback is making people panic even more. It's this national state of emergency here in the United States. And it's just kind of chaotic. So when you have pandemic and national emergency and panic in general, all bets are off in terms of technical analysis. All of the people that are investing in stocks and things like that, they are not able to figure out what's going to happen. So throw that into an economy with your pandemic, your panic. You have to slow down where people go. And this is where we come into social distancing, where we come into the self-quarantining that's going on right now. And this is going to halt a lot of businesses. And if you haven't put that together already from what the media is saying, how it's going to affect small businesses, the United States is saying that they're going to be doing a $50 billion, basically like a bailout to help SBA loans, help people, support them with the small businesses during the downturn. So really the scary part, and I don't mean to freak people out, everything's going to be fine. It always is over a long term, and it's important to always be prepared and have a good plan in place. There's never a bad time for investing, but there is such a thing as a bad in strategy when it comes to investing. So you have to have a strategy. Whatever you're doing, make a strategy, make a goal. And what's going to happen is with businesses slowing down, companies are telling people to work from home. So people are going to be working from home, and you have these companies not making the cash flow that they once were. When they took out those big lines of credit, when they took out the debt that they could service with cash flow at the time, and projecting out, not with a pandemic happening, just out of the blue, like a black swan type event, you have default. You have companies that are immediately going to have to reduce their overhead in order to pay off their debt and stay in business. So when you have the immediate need to reduce your expenses and your costs as a business to maintain your debt load that you've taken on with the slower cash flow coming in because of the economic slowdown with this pandemic that's happening, you run into layoffs, and you need to trim down. And not only are people going to be working from home, many people for the first time, but they're also going to be getting laid off. Retail workers, a lot of hardworking people all over the world are going to get hit, and they're going to be getting hit at home by these layoffs. And it's a very unfortunate situation. And that's why I have a solution for everybody. I think this is a good time to build a skill. This is a good time to, let's say, learn video editing. Good time to learn design. Good time to learn computer programming. Good time to learn how to write, really effectively for businesses. A good time to learn YouTube, learn blogging, learn all different skills. It's a good time to sharpen your skills. Whether you just got laid off or you hear rumors of people at your work that are freaked out about getting laid off, and maybe it's coming, maybe it's not, that doom in the back of your head, learn a skill. Get online, find an academy in whatever you want to learn, become a notary, learn real estate, learn, shameless plug with the link in my description of how to buy and sell websites for cash flow. But you need to learn a skill. Find one and master it. Recessions are for retooling. Take some time, collect yourself, and learn a new skill, and be proactive. Jump on it, get a skill, start charging cheap to start, build a portfolio of whatever it is. whether it's design or writing or whatever you want to do. Build out a portfolio and start learning as soon as you can. So that makes you more valuable to whenever the recession stops, and you're able to jump back on to, whether it was a previous company you worked at or a new company or whatever you want to do. Maybe you work for yourself. It really is up to you. But this is a great time to learn a skill. So to summarize, business debt, all-time high, can't service their debt. When the economic slowdown happens, they don't have as many customers. They don't have the cash flow to pay the lender or the servicing person or entity that is servicing their debt. And in turn, they need to lower their overhead, and that means layoffs. Layoffs mean people are literally at their home, working from home, getting laid off. And it is a optimal setup. A glass half full is for you to learn a skill while you're at home. And regardless of if a business decides to lay you off, just learn a skill anyways. Just go onto Coursera or go onto Teachable or one of these platforms and just learn one. You could start for $20, $100, whatever it is, and just learn a couple skills, learn 1, 2. And that's my piece of advice. I present a kind of scary situation. Everybody is currently fearful right now, and classifies as extreme fear on all of the trading indicators right now. And people are dumping, getting into cash. Even gold is dumping, silver is dumping. Dow Jones, S&P, everything is dumping because people are worried and they're pulling out in cash, and they feel that this will be their last opportunity. So my advice is pick up a skill. Start sharpening your skill set and really dig deep for 3-6 months and just start building up cash flow. Start crushing your skill set and investing that money wherever you can, and building up cash flow, whether it's through something like buying websites or buying rental properties, something like that. Just get that skill. That's my best piece of advice to you guys, is get a skill, and you will come out of this a new person, a more powerful person, and everybody's going to be all right. It's important to just lay low, quarantine yourself, stay at home, FaceTime with loved ones, make sure that everybody's doing all right, keeping their distance, and that is my 2 cents. And I hope that I didn't manage to scare everybody off, but I know a lot of you guys are out there looking for motivational things right now, so that is my motivational contribution to YouTube on the Sound Money podcast. So that is it for this episode. If you guys like it, hit a like. It helps the channel quite a bit. And I will see you guys on the next episode of the Sound Money podcast.